none, then we will close the public hearing. I think we're gonna, unless anybody needs, I mean, people in the audience can take a comfort stop. Does anybody on the board need that? If not, we're gonna keep going. All right, we're gonna keep going then. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I want to stop. I'm pretty downstairs.
All right, then we're gonna break the rules a bit here. We have someone who is running up from downstairs who wants to speak in the public hearing. I will allow that unless there's any objection. Please proceed.
People downstairs are standing. This is taking way too long. We have had 76 people leave. Can we move this along?
Yay.
Town meeting. Following the special town board meeting number 1 on public hearing starting at 7 p.m. The town meeting is starting at 9:15. We are called to order. Approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the 2018 special town meeting. And again, I believe, and correct me, that these motions can come from any citizen or resident, or they can come from the board. So is anyone of a mind to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the 2018 special town meeting?
I approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes.
Okay, the motion is
Your
there.
name
We
for
have
the
your
minutes,
name.
please. Kathy, you need her name, correct?
Yes.
Donna Simmert.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second to the motion to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Second.
Give me a name.
Give us a name, anybody.
Ron Krieger.
Ron Krieger. All right. We'll do this by voice vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Send
Opposed?
somebody to the fire department?
I think actually what I'm going to recommend, even though it's going to take a few minutes, the chair has to declare whether the motion passes. If he's in doubt, then we do the show of hands or standing up, and then ultimately if he's not sure. I think, in fairness to both groups, we'll ask for the motion here. The motion's been made and seconded, and you'll rule, and then he's going to have to walk downstairs and listen downstairs too.
All right.
And if he's in doubt, then he'll come back and announce it. And hopefully it'll be obvious, and I don't care which way it goes, but I think in fairness, that's what we have to do to both groups. So, the chairman heard the vote up here, right, Mr.
I
Chairman?
agree.
I did.
Okay. I gotta do it, figure out some way to do it.
76.
Yeah, but he has to go back and forth like 5 times.
Get his exercise. Is there any other runner that might be better at it?
Nice, Andy.
Okay, your attention, please. We move this along quickly. I sense the vote on that was unanimous below as well. So then we need to move to item 3, which is to adopt the 2019 town tax levy to be paid in 2020 pursuant to section 60.101A of Wisconsin statutes. And again, if someone is inclined to adopt the tax levy, the sum on that as proposed is what? Do we have that number again, please?
$1,675,220
$1,675,442. Is someone inclined to make such a
I'll make a
motion?
motion we accept.
Name, please.
Roger MEKKA.
Thank you. Is someone inclined to second that motion? I've got Michaeline Knable. Thank you. All right, all in favor of adopting the, excuse me,
Have to go down there again.
setting the levy to be paid in the amount of $1,675,442. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Be right back.
Well, you're better on that.
Where are your roller skates?
No, I'm just waiting for it to be over. What I was asking the attorney about was getting confirmation, if you become a village. I'm in favor of it, everybody seems to be. The board's unanimous. But this meeting goes away. There's no such thing as a town meeting. The electorate never votes again. Just like in this village, they don't vote. The school board didn't vote.
Buzzing.
So cities and villages,
All of a sudden.
this is a unique meeting to town.
I was gonna say, it seems different. I haven't dealt with it in so long that I haven't recognized the difference.
Okay, the group downstairs is following your lead. That was unanimous.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I should announce, and Kathy's been advised, the next agenda item, the state statute's been repealed, and you no longer need electorate permission to spend. There's an ancient law that if you're gonna spend more than $5,000 on roads, I'm paraphrasing, you needed the electorate's permission. Well, there's no town around this area that doesn't bring this in, so they repealed it a few years ago, and
So we can dispense with item 4, approve the 2019 highway expenditures to exceed $5,000 per mile. Is that true? How about that? Isn't that a breath of fresh air?
Save
All
you
right.
from running downstairs.
Item 5, discussion and action on the purchase of 2 public properties. To move this along, I am going to, in terms of the chair of the meeting, entertain a motion to purchase the 2 public properties. And again, that can come from the floor or it can come from the board.
And I'm going to make a caveat because it gets too confusing if you make a negative motion. So the motion is to approve, and if it fails, then they can't buy the land. So if you're opposed to it, you would vote no. The motion is to authorize, the technical motion is to authorize the town board pursuant to section 60.10 of the Wisconsin statutes to purchase the properties as proposed. If you vote yes, that gives them the authority to buy it. If you vote no, it doesn't allow them. The mere fact that you make the motion in the positive doesn't mean that you can't vote no.
So is there such a motion? I'll ask again, is there such a motion?
He could die without.
I'm sorry? You're moving.
I'm trying to vote no.
She made a motion.
All right, she made a motion. She made a motion to purchase
To authorize the
public
town board to
property.
purchase.
All right, and is there a second to the motion from Ms.
And I
Hubbard?
encourage everyone to
name?
vote no.
And your name, sir? Tom?
All right, then we'll take a vote on that. All in favor of the motion is indicated to purchase 2 public properties indicate by saying aye.
Wait, I just have a quick question.
All right, go ahead.
I don't have a slip, but I will fill it out for you. My name is Lisa Karstensen, W274S3951 Stonegate Road. I am very very familiar with the rulings or the parliamentarian. So you had a motion to vote, and second, do you dispense with the discussion of the motion?
Well, all right, point well taken. We have a motion and a second. Is there anyone who would like to discuss it? Point well taken, thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? We can backtrack. The motion was by Ms. Lofter, and I'm not sure if the gentleman in back seconded the motion to approve the purchase of the 2 public properties. So is there discussion on the motion? All right, and I'm probably do this right, be right back. I will ask you.
Gotta vote.
Well, I understand, but I want to see if there's any discussion below before we vote. Be right back.
You can ask him to vote while you're gone.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
It's really a shame that they still don't know what the good decision and the land. I mean, I'm not inclined to think that we have either way.
Well,
We haven't.
there are a lot of people, including several on the board, and others in the room, who don't know why when we buy it, even if it was a good deal. In other words, we don't need it. We have land here on this campus they pay to build everything that they want to build. So why are they buying it? Is it like the school board does?
Well, we don't have all that to, as I said, the land that seems to ask for the approval. Or the cabinet should have it on the right hand side, I think, like connected to the park. We've already spent so much money on it, like
And the excuse for all the land that came on the road, that they had to buy a 1 acre lot across the street to get contiguous, and then be next to the city. What was the reason to buy that one? It was an investment. And once it was the next, they were able to sell it to a developer.
Moving on, there was no discussion. There was no discussion on the motion in the fire station. We took the vote down there ahead of the vote above here. There was one, and I believe only one vote in favor, the rest were opposed. So we'll proceed. Here, if you understand, the motion is to approve the purchase of 2 public properties. All in favor indicate by saying aye. There were several ayes.
Can I get your hands for ayes?
Hands, please.
3? Okay,
Three.
behind you. 3. I got 1, 2, 3. 4. Did you see another one?
How many? Raise them high quickly, or just count out.
Try it again.
Shout out numbers. 1.
2, 3. 3. Okay.
All right, so there are 4 in favor, the balance opposed.
Did you give them the ability to say?
Opposed. All right, I'm sorry to get that part opposed. All those opposed to the motion indicate by saying aye. Okay, we have item 6. Motion failed. Item 6, public comments. Are there any further public comments during the town meeting? All right, come forward, please.
Hi, Sandy Hamm. I just had one comment. Everybody participated in this meeting. I've been coming to these meetings for a number of years, but we're all in favor of incorporation. I'm in favor of incorporation, but villages don't have town meetings. They don't have an annual meeting where the electors set the levy. So once we become a village, we won't have a meeting like this anymore. Thank you.
Thank you. Name and address, please.
My name is Catherine Marriott, West 225, South Route 66.
Hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute. I know some of you are exiting the room. Thank you for coming, but do it as quietly as you can so this lady has a chance to speak. Go ahead.
This was all new to us. This came like a shock to us that there was any plan at all to buy land, to move the buildings, to do whatever. My question is, have you actually negotiated to buy the land before any of us were informed about it? That's the question. Did this board negotiate to buy property before the electorate even knew about it?
I'll answer your question this way. All of the actions on these were taken in public meetings So all of this was public. There was none of this that was done behind the scenes. All of the actions, the board's actions on all of this was done in public meetings.
Okay.
So I would
Then we have
encourage,
not received, I would say, the only way that would be the fair and equitable way to communicate with your citizens of your town would be through direct mail, directly to their homes.
Yes.
Because people don't get the Waukesha Freeman. They don't go on your website. The only way that you can be assured that the information needed by your voters is out to them is by sending it directly to their home address.
This is how we found out.
all right. Okay, I would just tell you, appreciate your comments. Again, I would encourage you and everyone else to come to the meeting next Thursday. We will talk about, and I'm telling Kathy right now to put that on the agenda, we will talk about how to disseminate information and communicate with town residents. Any other public comments?
I just wanted to state, you're all gonna be getting a tax bill soon. And I hear many times that you don't have your burn permit, you haven't seen the newsletter we put out. In your tax bills, please look in your tax bills. We put out as much information that the board wants to get to you. Now obviously this couldn't come out ahead of time, but they're trying to get that information out, your burn permit, your yard waste permit, that's all in there. So don't throw it out like it's part of what's in your electric bill. This is something we want you to review.
And I guess I'll make one last comment, again, encouraging people, if you're not aware of it, the meetings are basically on the town's YouTube site. They're in a library. People can look at them live. You can go look at them. We do have the town website. Again, we're going to talk about working, I think, forward in terms of having electronic and emailing communications. You can go on the town website. They're not always up there immediately, but meetings and minutes and everything. I think we need to do everything we can from this part of it, but Mr. Hamm spoke to it before. There's got to be a little bit of initiative taken by people too, because the cost of even sending out a direct mailing of everybody in the town, I mean, we could do that, but do people want to pay the cost of a monthly newsletter? I mean, that's an open question, and we can talk about that next week. It gets costly. So, all right, any other public comments before we adjourn the town meeting?
You have my name in that.
All right, we're gonna move along then.
I'm not done yet.
All right, well, we got
Sorry.
to move this thing along.
Only
Let's
because
go.
somebody asked me the question, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go from left to right, and I'm going to ask each supervisor how they voted on the purchase of this land.
I was
Radke.
opposed.
David German,
I was for it due to the fact in the beginning, this land did affect our village status because we were entertaining the idea of using this parcel of land to help us along with that status.
okay, so you're looking at spending $8 million to try and make us a village, is what you were doing. Brian Fisher,
You're asking me, not tonight, but you're asking me originally?
originally,
Yes, I voted in favor of the purchase of parcels of land. I absolutely think the town has got to do something. We have been, since 2011, we've been unable to even purchase an emergency generator for the fire station here. We've had
so you want to spend $8 million?
No, I didn't say that. I want to move something along. I think we have pressing needs. You're asking for a point of view for sleeping quarters for the fire department, for response time. Most of the town residents that I talk to, they consider that a high priority. I think we need to get our trucks, public work department trucks inside. I think that will increase their longevity. I think it will help with response time. I think we need to find a way to build a salt storage structure. Those needs are not going to go away. And if they're to be done on this site, fine, but we got to get on with the show.
Michael Dorr
I was opposed.
and Bob Stigler.
voted for it, but the reason I voted for it, and not for $8 million, that was never on the agenda. The numbers that we're hearing of $8 million were never discussed. That's all numbers that somebody came up and fabricated. We never had bids, we never had any solitary money other than for the land. And the problem with the land debt, the way I saw it, was that we can buy the land, we didn't have to build on it. We can sell the land in the future. It's not an expense, it's more of an investment that the town would have been made. We could have done something different here. We could add on to the fire department here, like sleeping quarters or whatever we need here, like a breaking for the volunteers. We do need a DPW. We've got, those trucks are sitting outside, and if you've ever done plowing, you have to get in a truck that's been parked outside all night in sub-zero weather. A lot of it's going to be froze up. You have to get machines thawed out and running. That's going to take time. And these machines are deteriorating sitting outside here year-round. We have no place to put them inside. They don't fit in the DPW building we have now with the plows on it. So they're sitting outside. They can't load up with salt, so that takes some time to run over to the county sheds and load the trucks over there. So we do need a DPW building, whether it's over on 164 or it's back here, but we're gonna have to either cut trees down back here in the park to make room for a shed. It may be cheaper, it may be cheaper, I don't know, I'm not against one way or another, I'll go whichever direction you people wanna do, but the $8 million is a little bit of a fantasy number that I don't know where that came from. We never discussed that in a budget meeting here on buying that land. We bought the land for the price.
Two other real quick things, and Mike, if you go and check the record, the first vote on the Hofstetter property, you voted for it, and I know you changed your mind on that, and that's fine, and I respect that. So you voted for it the first time. The other thing that I would point out to people, and this will be for days going forward, but some suggestions have been, and this town board hired Angus Young out of Janesville back in 2017. We paid between $12,000 and $13,000 for them to prepare preliminary plans here for additional sleeping quarters for the fire station, expanding some of the Bay Area so we can get a larger engine that we're contemplating replacement that won't fit in the Bay Area, Public Works area and back. Supervisor Durr, Supervisor Wolf, and I met many times over with the architect during the spring and summer of 2017. The town board was completely on board with that, and for any of you, not this number, but came to the 2017 meeting of this kind with the approval of the budget, the capital plan included putting the fire station addition on for sleeping quarters for a little over $1 million. That was approved by the electorate. The town board was fully beyond it. It was in the budget. December 27th, 2017, the town board changed its mind, and the other 4 board members voted against hiring the architect to move ahead with that project. I voted for it because I believed then, and I still believe, that we need sleeping quarters for the fire department to improve response time and attract people. So we basically have been at a stalemate on that issue ever since. There's some suggestion that we ought to now proceed with that plan that was shelved 2 years ago, and that's worthy of consideration. But I'll point one thing out to you. The state building code will not allow us to build a building larger than 12,000 square feet in area. This gets a little technical.
Yeah.
But
Excuse
unless
me,
it's
Mr. Chairman,
sprinklered
if
with
we could move
firewalls.
along.
No, let me finish it, because I'm explaining my part of it.
Well, we're talking about sprinkler systems in
No,
buildings that are.
no, we're talking about the vision for it, so just allow me to finish it real quickly, but sprinkler system will be.
Is there a motion to
required
adjourn
do
by
that.
anybody in the audience? Just before we do that, since you called me out, I wanted to be clear that my vote was to authorize entertaining an offer from the seller. When I found out the ridiculous price and what we would have to go to purchase, I have consistently voted against this situation every time. My sole positive vote was to entertain them to give us a price, period. I have a motion and a second, Mr. Chairman.
All right, is there a
Call the
motion to
vote.
adjourn? I'm gonna ask, is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Town board meeting, and a second? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Do we need to go downstairs to ask that? All right, thank you.
There's one more meeting.